The tour rolls on, y'all. Edmonton, I'll be there in a couple of weeks, September 29th through October 1st. Chicago, I will see you guys in November, the 11th and the 12th. And Grand Rapids, I'll see y'all December 9th and 10th. Get your tickets to those shows and all shows on my website at ryansickler.com.
The HoneyDew with Ryan Sickler.
Welcome back to the HoneyDew, y'all. We're over here doing it in the Night Pants Studios. I am Ryan Sickler, ryansickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all your social media. Thank you again. Thank you every damn week. Thank you. This community continues to grow. You guys are the best. If you are watching on YouTube, subscribe. It is a free way to help this show, and it really works and means a lot. Wherever you are listening, subscribe. And if you got to have more, then you got to check out the Patreon. It's called the HoneyDew with y'all, where I'm highlighting the lowlights with y'all. You guys have the craziest stories I've ever heard in my life, and we have an inbox of hundreds more. It's insane, and it's not going anywhere. All right, it's $5 a month. If you sign up for a year, you get over a month free, and you get the HoneyDew a day early ad free at no additional cost. All right, if you or someone you know has a story that's got to be heard, please submit it to honeydewpodcast@gmail.com, and hopefully we'll get to do an episode together. All right, the Night Pants Nation tour rolls on. Edmonton, I'll be there September 29th through October 1st. Chicago, November 11th and 12th. And Grand Rapids, December 9th and 10th. All right. Now, that's all the biz right there. You guys know what we do over here. We highlight the lowlights. I always say these are the stories behind the storytellers. And I am very excited to have this guest on the HoneyDew. First time here, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Shapel Lacey. Welcome to the HoneyDew. Yes, sir, young man. Yes. Clap for yourself.
Yeah, I'll clap.
Clap for yourself. Former cheerleader, you better fucking clap.
I'm all clapped out.
Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you here, dude.
Thank you for having me, man.
Will you please, before we get into your story, plug and promote everything and anything you would like?
I got some tour dates. I got to read them.
Get them.
You know
That's fine. Yeah.
So October 13th through the 15th, I'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina at Good Nights. And then October 21st through the 22nd, I'll be at the Milwaukee Improv. And then November 17th, I'll be doing a one-nighter at Irvine Improv.
All right. Yeah. And what about your social media? Where can
social
they find
media
tickets?
At Shapel Lacey everywhere. Well, actually, I only do Instagram. So.
Instagram only?
Yeah. Everything else exhausts
You have a
me.
website?
Yes, shapellacey.com.
There you go.
Yep. That's where you find out all my stuff.
Well, I'm really excited to sit down because I follow you. I'm a fan of yours. I've been following you on social media and stuff, and I see a lot of different things. I see cheerleading. I see punk rock singing. I know you were adopted.
Yeah.
But I don't know your story. So why don't we just go back to day one for you and let's talk about your life.
It was a cold morning, January 23rd. I'm just kidding.
Is it January 23rd, your birthday?
Yeah, it is. But I don't know if it was cold because it was Arizona. But yeah, I grew up in Arizona. Like I said, I was adopted in my teens, but originally, with my biological mom and a stepfather and then 4 other siblings. And, it was crazy. We grew up in a poor area in Mesa, Arizona. Not many people know, much of Arizona other than Phoenix, but shouts out to Jimmy Eat World because they're from Mesa. Always got to give that shout out. Hometown heroes. But then, I grew up in a crazy, crazy household. My stepfather was very, very abusive. And it was obviously tough for, one to navigate as a child because you have so many questions, especially when this person isn't your dad. But
let me ask you this: You're in a house with 3 other siblings.
4 others.
4, so it's 5 total kids.
5 total kids,
and you're all share them. You're the same mom.
So I only had one full-blooded sibling, but he passed away. We'll get there eventually.
Okay.
But my 3 other siblings, they're my half. So they're
from him.
From him.
Got
yeah.
It. Okay.
Yep. So that's that was pretty much our household growing up.
And 5 kids under the age of what?
Man, I'm the second oldest. and the youngest was born in 92. And then the oldest was born in 85. So
you got a lot of young kids on that roof at one time. And he was abusive, huh?
Oh, yeah.
To your mom as well?
He never physically, touched her or anything, but, verbally.
Yell at her.
Just the mental, abuse. He made it feel like she needed him and she couldn't be anywhere. Like, I don't know, very manipulative.
What did he do for a living?
Shit, I don't know.
No.
Bro, he came in with different uniforms all the time. I couldn't tell you what he did for a living.
He did a lot of different shit.
That's my favorite question that people ask. Like, what did he do for a living? I'm like, what? I don't know. He made up shit.
Oh, shit.
One day he was at Burger King. Next thing you know, he was a security guard somewhere. I'm like,
always got
I'm like,
new walkie-talkie.
Right. I'm like, for as hard as you work to lie about where you working, I mean, you could have just worked a job. But no, I don't know where he worked. My mom was, that was the work ethic of the house.
Okay.
She was a CNA. I think the nurse's assistant. Yeah, she worked at the hospital where pretty much all of us, all my siblings were born at. She was a CNA there. So she was, at the house. Or the bread maker of the house.
Oh, she was. Huh?
Yeah, and my stepfather.
Not a collective.
Yeah, my stepfather, he was just chilling.
Yeah.
But he wasn't good at chilling. You know what I mean?
Now, what can we go back to your biological father? I know we're going to get there later, but
we can go back.
At that time, did you know, do you always remember your stepfather being the guy in your life at that age?
Yep.
You do.
I didn't know I had a biological father until I was 10.
So you thought up until 10 that this man was your biological father?
No, I didn't know. I knew it wasn't my dad. We looked too different.
Okay.
But no, I didn't think of him. It's weird because I didn't even call him dad. I called him by his first name, so it wasn't like, I don't know, like it was just weird. I didn't think of him as like a dad, but that was the adult in the house, I didn't think it was dad, but a parent.
Was he different with you than his kids?
Yes.
He was.
Yeah.
Was he abusive to them as well?
Not too crazy. I mean, he was strong with the verbal abuse, but he never really not the way he treated me and my brother who weren't his. We were, me and my brother, we had the same dad, but our dad was locked up. But it's crazy. They all knew he existed, but I was the only one that didn't.
Even your brother knew at the time?
Yeah, my brother knew. Yeah, because my brother was 2 years older than me.
Okay.
And my brother, before our dad got in prison, he would see him, and he had a little bit of a relationship with him.
What was he in prison for?
Attempted murder and drug dealing, shit like that.
All right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's what he's in there for.
All right. So what happens for you to be adopted in your teens?
So it's wild. It's so much that ties to it, but I was a competitive cheerleader, right?
Okay.
And this was at 15. I started cheerleading. And
why? What got you into that?
I had a crush on this girl.
Nuh-uh.
Let's talk about it, man.
That's what got you into cheerleading?
Yeah, that's what got me.
Some pussy.
Yeah.
It'll get you every time.
Yeah, it gets you every time.
Got this motherfucker shaking pom-pom.
Guess what? Never happened. Shouts out Marissa.
But I can backflip like a motherfucker.
Hey, I got that. Hey, I still got it. Still got the backflip in me.
Oh, shit, dude.
So the competitive cheerleading is like what you would consider like club soccer. Mm-hmm. It's not through the school. It's like outside of the thing, and you pay to do it. But the owners of the cheerleading gym that I cheered at, those are the ones that took me in.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was cheering there, and I think they knew there was something wrong, with me. I was very quiet, very reserved, and didn't talk much, and couldn't look people in the eyes really. And so and they've been working with kids for years. My adopted father, he was a teacher for a while. So, he would see all types of, children come in and out of his life. And I think he just knew immediately something was up. And, he didn't never ask detail. but just they would just like take care of me.
Was this a legal adoption? Or
it
they
wasn't
just
legal.
Took you in?
They just took me in.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it wasn't paperwork or anything
no paperwork
like
or anything like
that.
that.
Did they talk to your mom about this before?
No, not at all. Because my stepfather, he kicked me out.
He kicked you out.
Yeah, he kicked me
At
out.
15, you're already out?
He kicked me out at like 17.
He did.
Yeah, but they started taking care of me pretty much like.
And your mom just what? Wasn't going against
No,
her husband at the time?
it's so weird. My mom and I recently talked about that because I didn't know how she felt when she saw me get kicked out, because my mom worked the overnight shift at the hospital, right? And I remember that morning very clearly. I woke up for school, and my stepfather, he was always on some shit. And then he used to do this thing where he would tough guy bump me just because, like, he wanted to show dominance, right? I was like, bitch, I ain't scared of you. No, I'm just kidding. I was. But
was he big? Big enough.
Big enough, yeah. For my bigger than me now, hell no. But when I was younger, obviously, I didn't grow yet. Wait till I grow though. I swear, I wait till I grow.
Handspring on your fucking neck,
right? No, but so he would tough guy bump me, and then one day I was just like, man, stop, like just quit it. Like what like, I just, said something back. Was just standing up for myself. And then I remember he didn't like, if you talk back to him, it was like a major thing. Like it was a big no. And I remember he just like shoved me and just started, shoved me into my closet and just started like wailing on me and stuff.
Damn.
But I was just like, tucked or whatever, right? And then I get out of it. I run across the street because his mom lived across the street from us. And so, which I consider her my grandma, I do even to this day. And because she was like a lifesaver, like whenever I'd run to her house, because he was terrified of her.
Nah.
He's terrified of mom. Yeah.
Oh, there
so she would hype me out.
There we go.
I found that weak point. I'm
just
like,
taking some generational shit out across the street.
Right, yeah. I found that kryptonite. I found that kryptonite. I was like, I'd be hiding behind her.
She was on your side too.
Oh, big time. Because she knew how much of a nut he was. But I think no one knew what to do really. Like, I don't think. That type of experience and most experiences in life, I think, is first try for everybody. So I don't know, like, no one knows what to do, but also like, it's like, it's cause it's like family. So it's weird. Like, I don't blame anyone for my childhood. Like, I have no animosity towards anybody, but that's just, it is what it was, and I'm here now. But, so yeah, she was like, and I think one day she was just sick of it, and, she tried to tell him, but he was still on his tirade. And I remember I walked back to my house, and my mom just got home from work, and my stepfather had all my stuff packed up in trash bags and had it on the stair, on the little steps right there, and then told me to leave. And I was so happy.
You were happy, huh?
Oh my God, bro, best day of my life.
So you go to their home? Not
immediately. I went and lived with a friend for like a hot second. And then I just told them, I was like, I don't have anywhere to go. I was like, I like, doing the cheerleading and stuff like that. But I was like, I got to figure out my life because I don't have anywhere to go. And then they just, brought me in.
So you got adopted by a white family.
Yeah, shouts out.
And what was that? What was the difference like for you?
Man, because they're very like, they're all about love. They were strong Christians. Very into the faith.
Can I ask you one more question, real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
During this, are you still having a relationship with your mom? Like,
man, that was a tough one because
does she get what's happening, or like is she supportive a little?
You know what? For years, I was so 50-50 with my mom. I was like, man, I don't like this lady, but I do like this lady.
But you would see her during this time and stuff?
Not often.
No. And how far away are you?
Like 20 minutes. Ain't nothing but a hop and a skip.
A walk.
Right? About an hour walk,
And Arizona heat's a motherfucker.
Right. Well, I'm like, man, and I ain't going back.
All right, okay.
So yeah, I was so 50-50 with her because, like I was like, yeah, she, she's with this dude, but my mom was never mean to me. My mom was always very sweet and kind.
Did you feel like betrayed? Like, how could you pick this guy over me or your kids? Did you feel?
Yeah, I did feel that, I've 1,000%. You know what I mean? And
are they still together?
No, not at all. But they still have to see each other because
They have kids.
I have a brother, and I have a brother with special needs.
Okay.
So whenever like he has like doctor's appointments or anything that so that's when they still have to see each other and just to get them stuff. But other than that, yeah, like I was pretty messed up about that, and I wanted to love my mom, but it was very tough because she was with that dude, and she stuck with him for so long, even after I was kicked out, so
I mean. Yeah.
But like I said, with the recent conversation I had with her, I'd say almost a year or so ago, I never knew how she felt when she saw her son get kicked out. I didn't know what went through her head. I didn't know. I mean, because my family wasn't a family that would talk things out. We never said I love you in our house. Like there was just like pretty much like just nothing of that nature. And she had told me, she was like, the day stepdad kicked you out, that's when I was like, she was like plotting her way, trying to figure out how to get out of the situation.
All right, so that was the beginning of her.
She was so mad, and I know it's not like a major move, but she was like, I made him sleep in the living room. We never slept in the same room. We were totally like, she was checked out, but she just didn't know how to exit, because I mean, she'd been in that situation for years. You know what I mean? So
I brought you off track. Let's go back.
No, go ahead.
You now move in with this family. What are the differences? Like you said, they were very Christian,
so the difference,
very loving.
very Christian, very loving.
How many kids do they have?
Three daughters.
3 daughters.
Yeah, they have 3 daughters of their own. And at the time, the youngest daughter, when I moved in, the youngest daughter, I think, was 2 or 3. And the other, I forget all their damn ages. Forgive me. But yeah, I moved in with them, and it was it was a big difference. Like I would see them whenever the kids did something wrong, I'd be like, ooh, you better get fucked up.
Yeah.
You gotta get your ass whooped. You getting it coming to you. No, and then I would see them like talk to them. So it was like, what? Like, what is that? And that's how they were with me. They never like raised their voice, never saw any aggression. And that's all I knew. So I was always on edge. I always had the guard up, just ready for something to happen. Even when my adoptive father woke me up one time, because so my stepdad, whenever he would wake me up, he would like shove me or like kick at me or something, right? So I remember one time my adoptive father tried to wake me up, and I was like, "What?"
Trying to get you up for a nice hot breakfast. Some shit you never had. Just trying to love you, son.
Right? Yeah, he was just like, I got oatmeal downstairs. I just wanted to wake you up. We got orange juice.
It's different over here. I'm sorry. It's different over here.
Man, yeah. So I'm like, I was like, what's up, homie?
Yeah, it's funny. You got to get unconditioned and then learn and get used to. Yeah. It's
like a
so
rescue dog.
crazy. Yeah.
That's literally what I was.
Exactly.
I was a rescue.
Did you have your own room?
Had my own room, which I never had before, because I shared with all my brothers, which wasn't like, that wasn't weird to me either. Like, I didn't think of us being poor like a weird thing. I was just like, yeah, because even kids at my school, like, I'm like, oh, they got the same shit we got. Like,
right.
I just didn't think of, us not having money as a bad thing, But yeah, it was very different. I had my own room, had a TV. I was like, damn, bro, a bed, like it was just like these simple things.
The most?
What I like the most? Damn. That's a good question. I've never been asked that. What did I like the most?
I mean, I don't want to give you answers, but, Were you excited to be in a loving home? Was there freedom? Was
the
there
loving home?
anxiety?
The loving home I wasn't like used to yet.
Okay,
so
that's still weird.
That's still weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's still a weird thing. I think it was just the fact that I had my own room and like my own space. You know, like I just never had that. You know, I think that was like the cool part.
Finally,
yeah, it was like an escape, and and it was the first time I was able to like really sit with myself in a room that was mine and decorated for me. You know, so I was just like, wow, this is trippy. You know what I mean? And I was able to sit with my thoughts a lot. And you know, I'm a thinker. I think all the time. I just be sitting there thinking, and that's all I did on the regular.
And then this family's paying for food, costs
everything.
for whatever these athletic things are.
Yeah, everything.
They made you their son.
Yeah, pretty much.
They did.
You know what I mean? They really did. But it felt weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you feel like? I'm asking you this, I want you to know that so I'm only saying this to everybody else and go like, Jesus Christ, shut up. But my father died when I was 16.
Yep.
And my mom was already out of the family. And I remember when my dad died, people went to the store and they bought new sweatshirts for us and new clothes. And when they brought it over, they felt like they were doing the kindest thing. And I felt like a fucking piece of shit charity case.
Yes.
Did you feel that way when you first got there?
Because you got to think, my siblings were still in that situation. I felt so much guilt. And it's weird because I knew that wasn't, like, it's almost like I wanted to go back because they were there.
Right.
Not because, you know, like I didn't like him at all. Like it wasn't like, oh, maybe it was my fault. Never thought that. I just thought, I was like, man, my siblings are still there. And I felt so bad. And you know, I'm living this life that, you know, they taught me how to drive. You know, they gave me, you know, a car to drive. And
what kind of car were you driving?
It was a Hyundai Elantra. Shouts out, 99, baby.
Were you going to see your siblings, though?
You know, the only one I saw on the regular was my oldest brother.
Okay.
You know, because he was a little bit older, and he was old enough to, like, move out and stuff, and he had gotten his own place, but yeah, he was the only one that I would see out of them. Otherwise, I didn't really see my siblings ever. You know, it was tough. It was, I mean, yeah, you just feel bad, and then I was becoming like spoiled, you know, because I mean, these people saw that I was in a screwed up situation, and these people are just being nice.
That's
they're just
what I'm
trying
saying.
to.
Yeah,
they're
it's
just
hard.
being nice.
I know they just want to be good to you and be nice.
But like, you know, all these nice things. I even ran away from my adopted folks one time. Like I remember.
Did you begin to resent them for all that?
Yeah, because it didn't feel good, you know. And I'm like, why am I deserving of this?
What, authentic?
It didn't feel authentic, you know. I was like, this isn't my family. This isn't where I came from. And they're just trying to be nice, you know. They were helping out a kid, and you know, and I was a wreck. There was a lot of things that messed me up that I, you know, just never dealt with. You know, but it's tough. It's like, you know, telling this kid in his late teens or, you know, mid to late teens, like how crazy his life is. It's you know, it's a lot to process. You know, I didn't really have any guidance until like anger management. You know, anger management is where I learned a lot, you know, and I think I was able to, you know, accept a lot more because of that, you know, but yeah, you just feel this weight on your shoulders, even though you're out of this situation. Because that situation I was in with my stepfather was a lot of weight. But then, you know, I feel like there was even more weight now that I'm not in this situation. And then look at the situation I'm in.
Right.
I'm looking at this house that I'm living in that has stairs. Bro, come on, man. Come on, talk to me, dog.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, man, I got stairs. You know, but it's like, even like, you know, some people may think that's funny, but that's really what I thought. I was like, man, there's stairs in the house. I've only seen that on TV. That's all. I never seen it like that. You know, so it's well, at least like living in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I knew people that had stairs in the house, but living in it.
I'm gonna stay here now.
But I'm in it. that was like a weird thing to me. It's simple as that is. I was just like,
That's perspective, dude. For
yeah,
real.
Exactly. You know, so that it's these little things.
Did your stepfather ever try to bring
Hell
you
no,
back?
bro.
Or he didn't give a fuck.
Nah,
He was so glad too then.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, but also like, I think it was this thing where he thought I was going to come running back. I was like, bro, do you know where I live? You know the house I'm in right now? No, I ain't coming back now. Yeah, he thought like, yeah, like if I, you know, yeah, he gonna need me. That's what he thought.
I gotcha.
You know,
we're making sure you knew you didn't.
Yeah, I was like, I got you.
You know, I used to tell my mother all the time because she would be like, "Yeah," I was like, I don't need you."
Mm-hmm.
You know, because this woman's beating me, talking shit to me, and I'm just like, I'll be fine. I would love to go on my own. I'll be fine. And she's like, you would never make it. I was like, bitch, you'll see.
Dude.
I've been on my own since I was 16.
Well, that's what
I'm fine.
So you know exactly what that's beautiful because it's exactly that.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew if I had to, I could do it.
You know, what's crazy about you saying this, the thing that set my stepfather off, what made him flip out on me that day, that morning as I'm getting ready for school, was when he goes, move out, get your shit. And I started packing my stuff. And then he slapped my bag out of my hand, right? And he was like, you ain't going nowhere with your simple ass, right? He said that to me. And I looked at him, I was like, I got plenty of places to go. I'm all good. And that's what, you know, that's what set it off. He didn't know where I had to go. He didn't know those people.
Yeah.
He didn't know that these people were taking care of me. He didn't know that there was actually good people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he was it. He was like, you know, I'm all you got, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so crazy you share that because I feel that 100%, man. The visuals in my head of him just saying, you're never gonna be nothing. Yeah. You know you ain't gonna be shit.
Yeah.
You know, and meanwhile, and I don't know if you felt this too, when I thought about myself on a regular, I go, I was like, I don't think I'm a bad kid.
No.
I don't think I'm
all the time.
Like I was just into skateboarding, going to punk shows, and you know, I wasn't selling drugs. I wasn't doing.
I've never been arrested. I've been cuffed. I've been cuffed. I ain't never been arrested.
I've never been arrested. I never you know, got in trouble with the cops.
I told my mother that we reconnected after like 25 years, and I was like,
okay, hell yeah.
Did you ever get a call from the school? Did you ever? No. That's right, because we were never absent enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We never fucked off enough because we played sports, and if you fucked around, you couldn't play sports. Our whole thing was, we're getting good grades, and we're going to be here every goddamn day that we can because we don't want to fuck up sports.
Yes.
If I didn't play sports, I probably would have fucking ruined my life, probably, because with no parents at that age, it would have ruined my life. That was all we had. So it resonates hard. And what I really think looking back on it, I meant, and I think you too, like, I don't need you because what you're bringing is nothing but abuse. I don't need this.
Yeah, I don't need this.
I'll be fine without this. Like, if you were a good person, great.
It'd be different.
Yeah, but I don't need this.
Yes.
Yeah, so good for you.
Yeah, man. I mean, to be able to understand that, because I mean, you know, thank the Lord for punk rock music, oddly enough, because that was the thing that got me to stand up for myself. I would read these lyrics of these dope punk songs, and it was just all about like standing up for yourself and believing in what, you know, who you are. Now, granted, I was a little aggressive, you know, to a lot of people. I was aggressive. But and, you know, that's where the anger management came in, you know, took care of that. But it did get me to, you know, be able to speak my mind and say something for myself.
All right, I asked you the thing you liked the most, which was your own room. What did you actually miss the most?
From being with my original home? Mm-hmm. Man, the thing I missed the most, my mom would always, at summertime, she'd always play these dope movies from when she was younger, and we would watch them all the time. Or even if it wasn't movies from her era, if it was just like some movie she wanted us to watch. And there's just specific movies in my life that I think of when I watch that movie, I think about just summertime and my mom, being home with us kids and us watching those movies. One of them is Trading Places.
Hell yeah.
Man,
That's so good.
I love that movie.
Still holds up.
It still holds up to this day.
And then the way they give him the little love and Coming to America,
yes.
which is crazy.
Oh,
I was
yes.
like, oh shit, there's going to be a new Trading Places
Exactly.
when we saw that. And they never did anything.
So she would show us a lot of and I fell in love with Eddie Murphy immediately. Yeah. Immediately. I was like, who's that guy? I was like, that guy's the deal. I just loved all his characters and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the one thing I miss is like me and my siblings gathered around and watching these movies, because that was, if there's one thing I could think of, that was like probably the most wholesome part of my time with them, and even TV shows. My mom loved I Love Lucy. She loves I Love Lucy. Mama's Family with Vicki Lawrence.
Yeah.
And we would watch these shows and I'd just be dying laughing and I just connect with it so much. And, that was one thing I thought about when, I moved in with my adopted folks. I was just like, man, and no one's ever asked me that question either, but that was the one thing I missed. It was like a bond with my siblings and my mother and my stepfather. My stepfather, I don't remember him. I don't have memories of him in that wholesome part.
Yeah, being present.
You know what I mean? So it was just such feel good. That was like the best.
That's best. Great. What were they watching at your adoptive family's house?
Man, I was like, bro, man,
what are they on over there?
Turn this Full House shit. Just kidding.
Can we please put Good Times on?
Where is JJ from Good Times?
Real. I feel like, I know I say, but the TV we grew up on, I'm older than you, but man, Good Times, The Jeffersons, What's Happening?
Yeah, What's Happening? Gosh,
All in the Family.
All in the Family.
Cheers, Taxi. It was great fucking comedy. It was great comedy. Fucking comedy.
Great comedy.
Great comedy. It was.
Yeah, I don't remember because I think I would just go up to my room and my adopted father, he loves so lame. He loves the Hallmark Channel.
Nah,
bro, yeah, because he's like,
why is that white dude giving us a
like,
bad look?
Man,
that's some shit you would joke about.
And it's so funny. My younger sisters and I they
Hallmark Christmas shit's coming up, y'all.
Y'all need to calm down in that other
Another
room.
lady with a bad boyfriend. I love these shows,
but it's always like because he's always like, there's always a happy ending. I'm like. So
yeah, there's that shit on other networks.
Yeah, but like, and it's so funny because my siblings now, on my adopted side, they're all like not about it anymore. They used to be. They used to sit there with them and watch, and I'm like, man, I can't.
Our weeks are filled with deadlines, responsibilities, and just stress in general, but it's football season. And when the weekend hits, you've got to protect your chill. So this season, make time to chill out and catch the game at your favorite bar. And while you're at it, order an ice-cold Coors Light, the beer that's made to chill. Coors Light's the perfect beer to sit around with your friends, crack them open, talk a little smack, watch the games, all right? So whether your team is a powerhouse with a record to keep or an underdog with a point to prove, one thing's for sure, it's going to be a hell of a season. Stay refreshed through all the action because no matter how your team fares after the clock runs out, a Coors Light in your hand means you're winning every time. Protect your chill this season with Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/honeydew. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. I've got Joe Burrow throwing for more than 263 yards this week. I think he's going to have another good game. Lamar Jackson, he's going to be throwing for more than 220. This kid's probably going to be one of the MVP frontrunners. And Mark Andrews, that's just my guy. He's going to catch more than 65 yards this week. Those are my picks. Prize Picks format is simple and easy to understand. So even if you aren't a sports fanatic, you can play. Pick 2 to 5 players, and if they will score more or less than their Prize Picks projection. You can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. And there are projections for any sports you watch. NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, PGA, college football, college basketball, soccer, WNBA. esports, NASCAR, tennis, MMA, boxing, disc golf, y'all, Euro basketball, cricket, and more. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. There's safe and fast withdrawal, and it's currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code HoneyDew. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks gonna give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks gonna give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code HoneyDew at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the number of plastic bottles and containers you throw away? Ever thought about purchasing more eco-friendly products but didn't know where to start? Well, if you answered yes to either of these questions, meet Blueland. Blueland is on a mission to eliminate single-use plastics by reinventing home essentials that are good for you and the planet. Blueland's innovative tablet refill solution takes up 10 times less space than a traditional bottle, and their powerful formulas keep your home clean and smelling great. The idea is simple. You grab one of the forever bottles, you fill it with warm water, you drop in the tablet, and you get cleaning. Refills start at $2, and you don't have to buy a new plastic bottle every time you run out. You can even set up a subscription so you never run out of the products you use the most. From cleaning sprays to hand soap to toilet cleaner and laundry tablets, all Blueland products are made with ingredients you can feel good about. Try their Clean Essentials Kit, which is everything you need to get started. Products come in refreshing signature scents like Iris Agave, Fresh Lemon, and Eucalyptus Mint. And for a limited time, their hand soap's getting a summer upgrade with 3 refreshing new scents: Strawberry Rhubarb, Citrus Patchouli, and Coconut Palm. Right now, you can get 15% off your first order when you go to blueland.com/honeydew. That's 15% off your first order of any Blueland products at blueland.com/honeydew. Blueland.com/honeydew. Now, let's get back to the do. Now, do your siblings and your adoptive siblings, have you all mixed families? Have you crossed, hung out? Nothing. No.
Never. Never that.
So you were, what, 17, you said, roughly, when you finally went
moved in with them.
And
how
long are you with them?
I pretty much moved because I went away to college to go cheer in Texas.
Where?
Trinity Valley.
Okay.
It's this you know that docuseries Cheer?
Yeah. I know of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the school that's one of the schools that they're talking about is the school I cheered.
So that's a big deal for cheering.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then I went on to University of Louisville, but I didn't even finish there because that's where I started stand up. But I pretty much fully moved out when I was 25.
Okay.
Yeah. That's when I moved out from there.
So you were there 7-8 years with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time was a good experience?
Yeah, great experience. A lot of learning. It did take me a while to get used to the loving. That took a little bit. And I think...
Were they huggy? Were they a huggy family? Or?
Yeah, and they would praise, and I'm like, quit doing that. Like whenever I did something good, and it's just the way they did it. Yeah. And I was like, hey, stop that. Why you say it like that? But that's just how they show affection and love. And that's fair, but I just wasn't about it. Like I remember, I don't know, I did something right. I don't know if I got like a good grade on something, and it was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Look at you. And I'm like, hey.
Yeah, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I was like, don't do that. I was like, it really felt like those TV shows that they were watching.
Right. Yeah.
But now I get it and stuff, and I'm used to it now. But that took a while to get used to that. And the youngest daughter, their youngest daughter, her and I connected a lot because, I would get home from school early, and she was a little baby. I call her baby. And so her and I would just be at the house all the time, because I'd be home early from school, and I would just play with her, and never really did that before either, and she considers me like, not even considers. Yeah, I'm her brother. She tells everyone, all of her friends about me. She's 19 now, I think. Yeah, something like that. But she tells all her friends about me. She I'm like her, her rock, which is pretty cool. And I remember because my voice is loud, and I didn't know, and I would talk aggressive. And I remember one time, just this little situation where I was going out to clean the backyard, and I just used to clean it. Like that was a pretty, thing. That was a thing that we did in our household, with my biological and stepfather. Like we just understood like cleaning was a thing. And I remember I was going to clean the backyard, and she wanted to chill out, hang out outside while I would clean the backyard. And I was like, "No, you ain't going outside with me." and then she started crying. I was like, "Wait, why are you crying? I just said you can go outside."
It's a hallmark.
but I didn't know because my voice was so aggressive. Yeah. But I wasn't even mad. Right. But it was just aggressive.
Bro, I've been dealing with that my whole life. I'm like, I'm not mad. Yeah. What is it? Why does everybody think I'm mad right now? Like, you're yelling. I'm like, I'm not yelling. And you haven't heard me yell.
Yeah. And I didn't know what to do. And I was like, oh man, she's crying. I was like, I didn't mean to make this little baby cry. And then I remember I just I picked her up, and I was like, oh, okay, it's okay, And I remember I was like, you know what, you can come outside with me. And then she kissed me on the cheek, and I was like, what? And it was such a moment to where I've never, ever in my life felt that. It was like this. It was love.
Yeah, it was pure love.
That was pure love. And I didn't know how to react. I was just like, oh, we'll go outside, and to this day, it's one of those emotional things for me because, coming where I come from, that was never a thing. I'm telling you, we didn't say, I love you. We didn't hug. Good job.
Yeah.
None of that was ever
all
said.
Negative.
All negative.
The time.
All the time. So, to feel that was the first moment I ever felt something like that.
You mentioned anger management.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how it helped you, and what did you learn from it? I'm curious.
I learned a lot of great things in anger management, and I would say the overall take. So I've had 3 different anger management teachers. Shout out. I had one. My first one was in high school. The second one, and the other 2 were in college. Yeah, when I was like in my 20s. And no, I didn't, say, hey, I want to go to anger management. They put me in there.
Sure.
Because everyone asked that. They're like, oh, you put yourself in? I was like, I put myself in there. But the beautiful thing about anger management is it taught me, and there's still things that because I haven't gone since my 20s, but there's still things to this day that I take with me. And the overall take is put it all on you. Put it all on you. Don't make it about anyone else. And I say that in a sense, like when I think about my situation with my stepfather, how about I do right? How about I don't fall in those footsteps and follow that cycle? How about why don't I just be a good person? Don't make it about being angry at him. Don't make it about that at all. How about I just do that? And when I was able to figure that out, I grew this empathy for my stepfather. And I started to learn and ask questions about where he came from because I never knew.
Asking him these questions?
No, I would ask my mom.
Okay.
My mom knows pretty much. I mean, they were together for years. But once I had learned about him, I was just like, oh, damn. I was like, well, this guy, I think he, and I'm not trying to make an excuse or, justify what he did because what he did wasn't good. But he went through some shit and he thought he was doing right. You know what I mean? And he would say these things all the time to my mom, like, he was like, why does he think I was a good dad? Like I was a good dad. And I used to get so mad at that question. And I was like, how delirious is he? And then I thought about it. His dad wasn't around. His dad didn't even come near him.
Right.
So the fact that he was there, he felt like he was doing right.
It's going from 0 to 1. I'm like, well, I'm doing good.
Yeah, he thought he was doing good. Right. I'm like, bro, you suck.
Do you even know what channel the Hallmark is?
Right, yeah.
Do you even know what channel number it is?
No, but, and it made me feel this way about him that I don't think I've ever felt. Because I felt so much hate towards him, and I wanted to go after this man. I wanted to attack this man. I wanted him to just not exist. I wanted all that. But then I thought about it, and because I started honestly through comedy in a weird way. I started doing these jokes about my abusive childhood, and then I noticed when I was on stage, as you're working jokes, you shit just bombs, and it was bombing. I was like, I hate the fact that it bombs. And then I was like, well, why do people not connect with it? And then I would listen back to some of the shit, and I would think about it. And I go, oh, I sound angry. I sound like I'm still hurt. I sound like I'm upset. And I go, what if I wasn't? And so then it made me just dig and dig and dig and understand more and more and more about him. And then even, to this day, and like even current date, he and I are cool.
You are?
Yeah.
What was the first time you had a good conversation?
I don't know if it was a good conversation as much as it was just like, I accepted the fact that I looked at everything I had right in front of me, right? I looked at everything in my life and I go, I'm fine. I'm fine. And when I was able to do that, I think it wasn't even anything as much as I shook his hand when I saw him. And that caught him off guard.
Did it?
Yes. The fact that I shook his hand. And I was just like, hey, how you doing? And obviously with that tone and that energy, because obviously he feels something, some sort of guilt, but he didn't get what I got. He didn't get an anger management teacher.
Right.
He didn't get these things, and
probably didn't even exist, that shit back
then. Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking? They beat his ass up.
Right? Yeah.
I'll teach you, motherfucker.
Yeah, right, yeah. Now go be a daddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it just and but and I found the beauty in just going, what, I'm fine and I'm okay, and I know you've been through some shit and I understand that, and I don't even take anything that happened in the past personal. And that's it's taking a lot of work.
Dude,
okay? That wasn't overnight. It's taking a lot of work.
How'd he take it?
I mean, he's still like, at times he does he's a little quiet around me, because he doesn't know what to say.
But you can be in the same room, and you can be in the
same
room
together. Yeah, I can say anything.
Good.
Yeah, why not? I got his number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll text you. What's up?
Does he ever hit you up about man, your fucking brother's fucking up, or talk
No.
to him? Does he ever ask you to talk to them or anything?
No, nothing like that. I mean, my brother, they reach out to me in general. They've kind of just looked at me as like the, respectfully, with no arrogance, as like as a North Star. They kind of look up to me. Good. And because, it was our oldest brother that we all kind of, in a sense, looked up to, because, he's the oldest, and, he was moving in ways, that just like you look at it, older sibling, and, so I think when he had passed,
tell me about that.
So, my
this
brother.
This is your biological. You said this is okay.
Biological brother, my only full-blooded sibling. And, that was a tough one, because when I think about my brother and he and I went through some shit together, especially in the home, with our stepfather, and going through that thing together and then losing him, man, really, that was a tough one. I felt like I lost my soul. He was the only full-blooded sibling I had. He was like my protector. There's times I'd be, getting in a fight, right? And he would roll up, and I'm getting, me and this dude are squaring up. And he would always swing on this dude before I could. And I'm like, it's my fight. Hey, man, I could throw a hand or two, But he was just like that. He didn't like seeing, and I think that's just because of what we were going through, because he couldn't do anything to our stepfather because he was bigger than us. So like when he sees someone, just squaring up with his little brother in a way to where it's like, and he would just snap. And unfortunately, he had got into pills.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, which is an easy thing to get into, especially where we grew up, poor area. That's just what it was. From my earliest memories, I think everybody was just kind of on some shit. And, my brother had some demons, but he was a great fucking guy. And he didn't get what I got either. He didn't get the anger management or someone to necessarily talk to. I would try to share things to him whenever, whatever I learned through the anger management and stuff.
How old was he when he passed?
He was 28.
28.
He was
Where
28
were you?
and I was
Do you
26.
remember how?
Yeah, I remember exactly where I was. I was flying to Florida to go compete at a cheer comp for a world title.
For a world title?
Yeah,
Nuh-uh.
yeah. Yep. And then when I got off my flight and I was in baggage claim, I had a message on my phone, and it was from a police officer. And I guess they found my brother. He OD'd in his apartment.
Man, I'm sorry.
So what happened was my brother had a struggle with pills for quite some time. He was like on and off, right? And then he had got a really good job working for Budweiser in the factory. Like, he was on one of them. What do they call them damn things they were driving around the factory?
Forklifts?
Yeah. He was on one of the. I was like, damn, bro, what's that thing called he did? Shit. Let me call him up. No, just kidding. No, so he was, he worked a really good job. He was so excited for this job because he fought hard to get this job, and it was a hard one to get. It wasn't an easy one to get. And then when he finally got it, he was going straight. He was doing all the correct things. And I think, based off what they expressed to me, he just had a night and he took a dose that he would normally take, but he had been off it for a while. So,
I see. And it was toxic.
So it was toxic. Yeah. So like there wasn't any struggle as much as it just stopped his heart. So when he I got that call. I called and I got the message on my phone. They were like, "Hey, can you give us a call when you get a chance?" I call, and no one knew yet. And meanwhile, like I was flying from the West Coast to Florida, so that's a 6-hour flight.
Right.
So no one knew. No one had any information
because the cops called you.
They called me.
I see.
Because I was like the guy.
Right.
And he
Next
made me
of kin.
next of kin. Yes. And so
emergency contact. Whatever.
Yeah. Emergency. Yeah. And so when I got that call and they told me what happened, and obviously I was in baggage claim and I was in shock, and I'm like, man, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I was like, are you sure it's him? And that's like the first question anyone would ask.
Sure.
Naturally, it's like, what, you sure? But they were more than sure, obviously. And I remember I was like, man, I got two decisions. I'm going to compete for this world title for cheerleading, something I'd been doing for years, and still didn't have Marissa, so kept going.
Marissa's long
Yeah,
gone.
she's long gone. I'm still going. I'm still trying. Maybe a world title will be like, oh damn, maybe that'll impress her.
Yeah.
What about this? And I decided to do the competition.
You did.
Yes, and only for one reason. My brother was the only person in my family that ever seen me compete. He was only one of my family that came to my competitions. So I was just like, okay, I'll do this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And that was not easy, and I was very quiet. No one knew.
You didn't tell anyone.
Just my team knew, but people would see me around and, they just noticed I was very different, very quiet. But yeah, it was, that was a tough one. And to be able to hold myself together, through that. Granted, it was cheerleading, but still, and we won the world title.
You did?
Yeah, we won.
Fuck
yeah,
man. I was going to ask. Congrats.
Yeah.
So you're a world title. You're a world championship cheerleader.
Yeah.
Is that am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you can say that. I got rings. I got rings, dog.
Wow, what did Marissa ever come back?
No, she
didn't give a fuck.
I was like, damn, I got a
She's
ring.
like, I quit cheerleading 3 years ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. She was long gone. She was done. Family, married, kids. She was like, "Will you still do that?" Oh, that's crazy.
Good for you. You made the right decision.
Yeah, and it felt good. And so after that, that's when it all hit me. It all hit me. It hit me pretty hard, because I got a huge check for his death because he made me the beneficiary on his life insurance, and I had got a huge check, and I fucking hated having that money. I hated it.
Yep.
I
get that.
It was, and so I was down. I was down, man. My soul was just ripped apart. Because like I said, my brother was, like my protector. You know what I mean? And you just don't think that's going to happen to someone. And then I was like, I don't have anyone for protection. I was like, I don't have that protector anymore. And when you lose that, it's like, I don't know, man. I didn't want to kill myself. I didn't want to do self-harm, but I just didn't want to exist. I didn't want to be around. I didn't want to, I had planned on moving to some random town somewhere and just living a normal, regular life, paycheck to paycheck, and just that's what I wanted to do, and oddly enough, through that money I had, I just started helping people. I just started giving people money, not just like, hey, but like, if I just notice someone in need, I just be like, here you go. Hey, let me get that for you. Let me catch that. I just did that. And then that started making me feel better. I just started organically. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like, I just did something for somebody. No, it was just, the fact that I could do something for someone else made me feel better. And it takes you out of this, it takes you out of these, like, these individual thoughts that you're having that are just about you and you. Mm-hmm. No, and you have to take care of you, but also I think if you have the strength and the ability to do so, and to help someone out, even if you don't have the money that I had, I mean, even someone that's just, you see some people outside moving a couch and they're struggling with it, and you go over and help them, and it's just something, and you're not wanting any reward from it. You're not wanting any, that was my thing. I was like, I don't want anything for it. I just hate looking at this bank account. Mm-hmm. I hate opening up my bank or looking at my bank account and just seeing all this money.
It's interesting you say that, because I totally, again, you resonate with me, because here you are living for a while with a family in a home that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Now you got money that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. Cause this is how I thought of it. I was like, you know what? I could get, it was $75,000. And I was like,
I didn't want to ask.
Oh no, you
I don't want to ask.
I know everybody's like, ask him. No, I'll say it. I don't care. I was like, I could get $75,000 again, but I can't get my brother back.
That's it. I'd rather have my brother than
than $75,000.
I think anybody. Well, most people.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
Not everybody. Yeah.
Not everybody.
Yeah. Some people got some weird siblings. No, I'd rather that. And there's just this spirit in me that all of a sudden I was, in a sense, a little bit able to feel what it was like to protect somebody for a moment of time. Even though it wasn't as much as my brother protected me, I was able to feel that, just by helping a person out that was struggling with a bill or something and, needed anything. And I just be like, there, just take that. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. You don't have to tell anybody I gave you that, but just take that. And some people did think I was crazy. You know what I mean? But I'm like, if you were in that situation,
you felt the way I feel about this.
Yeah, you feel the way I feel about this, then you probably wouldn't say that.
Well, also, I mean, when I say it means more to them than it does to you, it really does.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like those people need that money.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck this money.
Yeah.
It means more to them.
You
get joy
like
out of that.
Yeah.
Well, so if you have a bunch of money, you're not getting any joy out of having a bunch of money, and then giving some to people that helps them gives you joy, then there's a purpose for this money now.
Yeah.
And that could make you feel good about having this money.
Exactly. I got my soul back.
Right.
I was able to rebuild my soul.
Yes.
You know, in a dope way, to where I felt good about myself. You know, like I said, I didn't want anything from it, but someone just reaching out and say, hey, that really did a lot for me when you did that. I appreciate that. That meant a lot. Like, you didn't have to do that, you know, and just hearing that from someone, like, almost just makes you just grow into a selfless person. You know, and try to help people as best as you can.
Yeah.
And anyone that I don't know, you know, everyone's different, but I know when I was depressed, there was something about helping others that just helped myself in the weirdest way. I don't know how to explain it. I haven't gotten that far yet. But when I do figure it out and able to break it down,
that goes back to
way.
The empathy that you developed, because if you didn't, you would be like, fuck these people. I'm not helping anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's freeing.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. I like to do it as much as I can. Anytime I can. While I was in Cleveland, we bought tickets to the fucking, I always want to say Toy Story, Christmas Story house.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm standing outside and Eva and I are out there and I'm smoking a joint and I'm like, I don't want to go in and tour that house. Like, it's a movie set. It's not a real house.
Oh,
it's a movie set inside. I didn't know that either. So people are like, yeah, it's kind of not. I was like, I thought this was an authentic home we were going to walk through. I was like, I'm smoking a joint in front of the Christmas Story house. This is all I wanted to do. So I see this family with kids and it's expensive. So I go and the kids get in free. So I went over and I was like, because their kids were like, can we go? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, here, take my tickets and go. Take your fucking kids in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to smoke weed out in front of them.
And that's all you needed. Yeah.
That's all I needed.
Yeah, I'm all
and then
about
to see them go and take their kids. I mean, that meant more to me. And they're going to remember that.
Yeah.
You know?
There's something about that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't fully explain it to people, like the exact feeling of what it is, but it's a feel good feeling. It does something to the soul in a way that,
it will come back to you.
I don't know how,
it will.
I'm not looking for anything, but I just wanted to put that energy out there.
We have family members that stole, I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars from us when people died. And over the years, it came back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a different way, but it came back.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like I'm without that money for the rest of my life. It came back.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, fuck y'all.
Now what? But you spent it all.
Let me ask you this. How are you and your mom today? How's your relationship?
Man, our relationship is beautiful.
Good.
It is one of the coolest relationships I think I have today, because, man, I think there was just so much that wasn't talked about. And my brother, due to my brother's passing, that's when her and I reconnected, because I saw something in her that I've never seen before. I think I always saw a sadness in my mom, and when I think about it now, with being in that house, but I saw something that was, she lost her firstborn, a child that she created, and she did the best that she could to take care of. You know what I mean? And watching that look on her face, I was just like, damn. And then I was like, and then it made me think about everything that she went through. And all of a sudden I saw it. I was just like, oh, wow. She was going through it too. She was going through it with my stepfather, but just not in the way that I was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just because she, we weren't going through it the same way, doesn't mean nothing was like her, doesn't mean her world was positive. And so to see and understand that, I was just like, damn. So I would just call her every day, and before, whenever I would try to call her, because like I said, I used to be 50-50 with her, and I was like, I'll call her. let me call my mom. I was like, I'm all the way out in this state, this random state. She don't know where I'm at. I was like, let me call her. And it was tough to have conversations.
Yeah.
It'd be like 3 minutes. And I was like, I'm done with this, But now I call her, twice a week. She only lived 5 hours away in Arizona, but we talk for a long time. We talk for a good while, and I love it. You know what I mean? It's really cool. And even with my biological father, reconnecting with him.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
So that was shortly after my brother's death as well. I think I was 20. I was 29.
Was your dad out at that point?
Yeah, he was out. He was out. I think he had been out for 10 years after, when my brother died, he already had been out for like 10 years. And so I didn't know anything about him. I knew he existed. I'd seen him a couple times, and knew about him on Facebook, but I was always quiet around him. I didn't say much, never had really much anything to say. I kind of just was like, I don't know what, because I was like, I didn't know about the guy,
right.
So it's like weird. It's like, I know he's my dad. I know that, but I don't know. I was like, I just don't know anything about him. And I don't know what it was. There was because I was friends with him on Facebook, and he would post these like pictures from when he was younger, like pictures of like from when he was locked up or when he was, doing the shit that he was doing. And finally, I was just like, I just reached out to him. I said, "Can I interview you?" And he was like, "I would love that."
Wow, really?
Yeah. And then I remember driving to his house because he had lived like an hour and a half away from me. I was just like, okay, if it goes bad, then you can say you tried.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. If it goes bad, you can say you tried. Because you think about that. You think like, I don't know how this is gonna go. But but when I thought about it, I was like, if it goes bad, you can say you tried. It's not like he was in your life already. So it's just like, all right, whatever. And so go over there and I just asked him anything and everything.
And he answered it?
He answered everything.
What sticks out that you really remember the most?
Man. Probably that shootout he had with some Colombian drug lord.
What? Was he really?
Yeah.
Jesus
he had some crazy
Christ.
shootout with some Colombian drug lord. Yeah. Something wild. I don't know if he was Colombian or Cuban. I don't know. He had some shootout. And then he said they came and shot up his house after whatever. And he never saw the dude again, but it was a guy that he had worked under, and then that was one that I was like, oh, damn. Okay, you real deal.
So where is he now?
He's in Arizona.
And do you still talk to him?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, talk to him all the time.
So you have a good relationship with your biological father.
We talk all the time.
You're on solid ground with stepdad.
Yeah.
And you're in a great place with mom.
Yep, and my adopted folks.
And how old are you?
I'm 35.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
And your adopted folks. Yeah.
Yeah, my adopted folks too.
You tied them all together.
Yeah, like every it is weird because like I do feel equally about all of them in a way to where I'm like, yeah, this is my family.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom doesn't get weird about my adopted folks. My mom doesn't get weird about, with my stepdad or biological father. Like no one gets weird about those situations, because they all love me.
Right.
They all know that, the kid that they all have a part of their life is trying his best,
Did your mom and dad connect a little bit over your brother's passing?
A little bit.
They
not
talk
too
a little bit at least.
A little bit, yeah, because
that's their child.
Their firstborn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to see my biological father deal with that too, because he, and he had said something. He told me when he was in prison, he goes, man, all I thought about was like, I have kids. It got to a point because he was in survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
He was locked up in a very tough prison in Arizona, and he was just constant in survival mode. And he was just like, man, I got kids, and I want to be in their lives, but he's just like, but I'm here. Eventually he studied law because he was supposed to be serving a life sentence, So he studied law and found out the system had messed up in some way. Something with signing people off when they're like, I don't know the details, but like you can Google it. And but he studied law and basically got himself out.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
But he went back in. See, he went I didn't tell you that part. He went back in. He went back in. He went back in. He went back in.
Out that time.
Not that time.
They're like, we're not gonna fuck up this time.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, you studied to get yourself, and you went back.
How do you do all that work to go right back?
I know, man. I was like, you worked your ass off, read 20 books.
That's too good, dude. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story. This has been great, man.
This is great, man.
All right. I mentioned at the beginning before we started recording. After everything we've talked about here, now, what advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
What advice would I give to a 16-year-old self? Take more deep breaths. I say that because I do that now. If I feel like I see a situation that's in front of me that's, to where I'm like, it's like, tense, I just go, I just keep doing that. And I wish that was something I knew as a kid because that tension was so heavy.
Yeah.
All the time, I just wish I didn't have my guard up so strongly and aggressive because there were so many great people that I think I missed out on growing up that were trying to, also show love and help. And I think I would, love to tell that kid, take a deep breath and see those people over there. They're good people. They're good people too, and I think I've, due to my aggression and just being a rescue, I was just aggressive all the time. And there's some good people I think I missed out on.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Again, thank you. Please plug everything you want.
Yeah. At Shapel Lacey on Instagram, shapellacey.com for my website, tour dates, all that stuff. I think October 13th through the 15th, I'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina at Good Nights. And then October 21st and 22nd, Milwaukee Improv. And then November 17th, a one-nighter at Irvine Improv.
Very nice.
Yeah. Come here, we talk some shit.
Yeah, go see him. And as always, RyanSickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all social media. We'll talk to y'all next week.